Folks, how are we doing? Happy Sunday. Happy NFL Week 7 Sunday. It's MereKat. It's some guy named Stevie, Steve. I don't know what to call him these days, honestly. Steph, some may say, some including myself. You guys should all call him Steph as well. But we are ready to roll. We're actually live today. This isn't pre-recorded, so I won't say things like, yeah, Jonathan Taylor's going to go tomorrow, I think, and then he doesn't go. So we are live. We're here to go. Steve, how are we feeling? I mean, we both went 4-1 last week. We're riding high right now.
Yeah, we both went 4-1. I'm actually sending out a little promo right now. I'm 15-5 the last 4 weeks, MereKat. We have both been scorching it so far. 8-2 combined last week. I think we were 7-3 combined the week before. Myself, I think I'm 3 of the last 4 weeks, 4-1. We've been killing it after a little slow start in the first couple of weeks because just like everyone else, MereKat, we got to learn. But we're sharp. We learn a little quicker, MereKat. We learn a little quicker. So we've been killing it lately. I'm excited. I know it's a bye week. Bills on a bye. Rams on a bye. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins on a bye. So folks are like, what are we going to do? Well, we got games for you. We got picks. And MereKat, I'm excited. We're live for the first time, I think, all year. So this is going to be great. We have the most up-to-date injury news, reports, you name it. So we are here to give you guys the best picks. I'm excited, MereKat, because there's really not much bias that can go into it this week. Both our teams on a bye, but Stevie buys play 5-1 on the year. You know I got another bias pick. You know I got another bias pick on its way.
Well, you keep talking by week. I'm biased now because, I can't be biased about the Bills, but honestly, I have to. I have so much enormous Bills bias. I have to take bits and pieces of that bias and do something with this week, and you're going to see it with my plays. But first, a shout out to our show sponsors at BetUS.com. Listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all their favorite sports, including the NFL, UFC, and MLB. If you're looking for live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props, and parlays, they got them. And how about fast payouts? Exceptional one-on-one customer service as well. They got that too. So log into betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Stevie, why don't you begin things for us today with your first pick?
All right, so I got a lot of delicious options to choose from here. Let's see. You know what, MereKat? I'm going to start with... I'm going to start with a pinch your nose play. Why not? Why not start off with a stinky play? And it's the classic, the Stevie classic, a receiver prop. Wow, shocking. Steve has a receiver prop. You know what? They've been hitting. So I'm just going to keep taking receiver props, and we're taking a rookie receiver. And it is not Garrett Wilson. It's Wan'Dale Robinson, the other guy who plays in New Jersey. Wan'Dale Robinson, 33.5 receiving yards. That's about minus 110. I'm hammering that, MereKat. I love Wan'Dale Robinson today. Last week was his first week back after a 4-week knee injury, and he had 3 catches for 37 yards on 4 targets. Led the Giants in targets, receptions, and yards as a receiver when he went 3 for 34. And he only was on the field for 15 snaps, 23% of the entire snap count. Wan'Dale Robinson was on the field. He still went 3 for 34. I have to expect that his snap count is going to drastically increase because look at the other bums that are around this guy. You have Darius Slayton, Marcus Johnson, Richie James, and David Sills. That is not a great receiving group. Tony and Galladay are out again, and I don't see anything really preventing Wan'Dale Robinson to get more a target share, get more snaps, and eventually lead, obviously, to more targets, more yards. So I love 33.5 yards because I just think he's going to be on the field much more than he was the first game. And I think he's the only receiver who will probably produce, even though he was 5th in snaps last week of all those receivers. He's behind all of them in snap count. He still led them in yards, receptions, and tied for the lead in targets. He had a full week of practice. His first week all year, he had a full week of practice. And now it looks like, I think he's probably going to be the guy they want to get the ball to because they invested the draft capital in 43rd overall pick. These other guys here, they don't care about Darius Slayton, Marcus Johnson, Richie James. They're just guys who are filling in. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be a focal point in the offensive attack today against the Jaguars, who the Jaguars, very good against the run, not so great against the pass. And the Giants, I know they don't like the pass, but sometimes you just got to get it to your most talented players in space. I think we see a big jump for Wan'Dale Robinson this week. And I think this is the first, probably the final week you're going to be able to see his numbers this low. I would not be surprised if his receiving props around kind of the mid 50s, where a lot of the other rookie receivers have been hovering around this year. Give me Wan'Dale Robinson, 33.5 yards. He could get it in probably just 2 catches. I love this play. It's stinky because it's the Giants and you're taking a receiver, but everything points to Wan'Dale Robinson getting more volume, more opportunities, and he's the most talented receiver in the room.
I have that play locked in, actually. Like, I locked that play in last night. I was doing my props. It almost made my best bets, but there was just one I liked a little more than it. I felt a little more confident, although I'm with you on it. I really love this one. I'm going with another young pass catcher, a rookie pass catcher. I've been crushing it with them as well this year, and I'm going with Cade Otton, rookie tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over 28.5 receiving yards. I'll just say it. I think I'm undefeated too this year on non-Stephon Diggs or Trey Lance having his leg exploded player props. So I really fucking love this one, guys. And it might be a little bit popular today, which I don't care about. The Bucs rookie has slowly been folded into this offense, so we saw him take over as the guy with Brait inactive in week 5. He got 94% of the offensive snaps after not having more than 60 before that in any game. And he had decent production there. He got 6 catches on 7 targets for 43 yards. Then back to backup last week, but still utilized a little bit, seeing 3 targets and about 56% of possible snaps. And with Brait out this week, I think Otton has the trust of Brady already, and he's got his nerves shooken off that he can crush this over today. The Panthers are decent against tight ends, allowing just under 4 receptions and 34 yards to the position this year. But I think off of just volume and how the tight end is used in Tampa's offense and how low this number is, I'm hammering it. Cade Otton over 28.5 receiving yards.
I love it. You know why? Because it's a name nobody knows besides guys who are like us, who are just deep into the trenches of the rosters, football, fantasy football, you name it. I like that pick, MereKat. I'm stealing this from you. I'm sorry for my second pick. You can talk why you like it. I'm taking the Jags -3. You're like, wait, Steve, you just gave out a Giants receiving prop. I did, but I love the Jags to win. Jags -3. I love a money line, but the money line's a little juicy, so we'll take them spread anyways. Jags -3. This is a classic fade the public bet, MereKat. The Giants are 5-1. The Jaguars are 2-4. The Giants are getting points at 5-1. The Giants, who just beat the Ravens, who are a great team. Everyone thinks Ravens are a great team. Giants just beat them on the road against the Jags, the lowly Jags. Yeah, I am taking the Jags -3. I think the Jags can win this game pretty comfortably as well. The Giants, to me, haven't been on a true road game since week 1 of the NFL season. Yeah, they played out in London, weird kind of game there, but that's not a true road game. Their only true road game was week 1, and now what are we, week 7? And they're in Jacksonville. They're in the good old swamp playing the Jaguars. I love the Jaguars to win this game. The Giants, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen all year. The 2 most public bet teams this week, the Jets and the Giants. We're in a simulation, MereKat, where the Jets and the Giants are 2 of the most public bets of the Giants. I think 84% of the tickets I looked were on the Giants. The Jags, what did I say about them in the Wan'Dale prop? Great run defense, not a great pass defense. Well, guess what? The Giants can't really pass that well, and they only run. They had a couple fluky turnovers against the Ravens to get back into that game. I love the Jaguars to bounce back here. This is a pure kind of odds play, fade the public play. I'm sure you've got your reasons as well, but I'm taking the 2-4 Jags to win over the 5-1 Giants because this is also a classic. I'm not waking up Monday morning and going, oh, Giants 6-1. No, I'm not doing that. I've been fading them for a while, and they've burned me the past couple weeks. I think 2 of my 4-1 weeks were the only loss was to the Giants. So we're going right back into the well. Give me the Jaguars to win and win comfortably, -3.
Yep, I'm on it too. You know that because this week we talked about it. I'm going back to my roots. I don't have the Bills bias, so I have to spread it out over these next 3 picks. I'm taking all my little frisky boys that I've loved the past couple of years, and I'm about to get really biased. If I'm taking my Bills bias away, I'm getting really biased and kicking it off with the Jaguars -3 against the Giants. I have to ride with these Jaguars. I can't quit them. I didn't fully adopt them, and then I'm just back in the barrel already. I just don't. I think they can win this game, but cover pretty easily against a Giants team that has to come back down to earth at some point. I mean, what they're doing right now. It can't be sustainable. With Daniel Jones at quarterback, and we talked about it with not much on offense outside of Saquon and the prospects of Wan'Dale Robinson. And we've seen 80% of these spread bets on the Giants right now, with only about a big 20% differential in handle between the amount of bets and the money actually put on it. So the public is all over the Giants today as underdogs, and I'm more than okay with that. The Jaguars have had a weird last month. They stomped the Chargers, then they play the Eagles tough to the end, and then just 6 points against the Texans. I mean, they are primed for a bounce back. Trevor Lawrence has flashed. He's got to put it all together at some point and start being consistent with it, with the weapons he has around him. Christian Kirk's been great for him this year. I love Christian Kirk after not being too much of a fan of him in Arizona, but I don't think I'm much of a fan of anybody in Arizona. And so, a bounce back versus a Giants team that's allowing a league high 5.6 yards per carry on the ground, going up against an offense with James Robinson and Travis Etienne, who's finally getting going. I think, the Giants' mid-ass defense, keeping them on the field for a long time, long drives from the Jaguars is what's going to win this game, and they're going to control the pace of the game. Jaguars -3.
We're in agreement. When you sent me that pick earlier, I was like, we're on the same page. I was like, I wanted to find something else, but I was like, I got to go with it too, because that might be one of my favorite plays of the entire week. This next one here,
I love it.
I'm going back to what I know best: receiver props. Right? Why not? Why not just keep taking receiver props? Stevie receiver props. I'm going to the farm, and we're going with a Lamb, Mr. C.D. Lamb, over 73.5 receiving yards against the Lions. The Lions, they have a bad pass defense. They have a bad defense. Whoever they're going to play, they're going to allow to score a lot of points, and the Cowboys are going to score points. Dak is back. Dak is back. We can finally put away the Cooper Rush is good. No, they just have a really good defense. Cooper Rush has just kind of been in there filling in. But Dak is a good quarterback. He's averaging over 300 passing yards a game the last 3 seasons. This last 37 games he's played, he's averaged over 302 passing yards a game. That felt like a fake stat to me when I read it. It's crazy. And the one thing the Lions can't do is stop number 1 receivers. This year, in the 5 games they faced number 1 receivers, and the names are Jacoby Myers for the Patriots, DK Metcalf Seahawks, Justin Jefferson Vikings, Terry McLaurin Commanders, and A.J. Brown Eagles. A good receiving group. C.D. Lamb I'd put right in with them. Probably not as good as Jefferson, but right up there with all the other guys. Averaging 108 yards per game. What's funny enough is the only one they held under 74 yards, which is what CD needs to hit his prop, is Justin Jefferson, 3 for 14. That's an anomaly. It could be even worse if Justin Jefferson actually had a good game. They just used Adam Thielen that game. So I'm taking CeeDee Lamb over 73.5 receiving yards. 7th worst pass defense to the Lions. I think they're going to give up a lot of points. Dak is back. He's going to go to his number 1 target, CeeDee Lamb, who obviously Dak doesn't have Amari anymore, but CeeDee was becoming that guy at the end of last year. And I know the first game Dak only kind of played a little bit against the Bucs, and it was awful. It was an awful game. CeeDee really didn't do well, but he's still targeted, and he's 6th or 7th in the NFL in targets overall this year. 60 total targets. That's 10 per game. I expect Dak to feed CeeDee, and if you're going to feed CeeDee against this Lions pass defense that's bad, I think he's going to hit his number. I think we could see 100+ yards from CeeDee today. I think we see anywhere in the ballpark from 6 to 10 catches. I love CeeDee Lamb. I think the Cowboys, this is going to be kind of almost like a coming out party of, yeah, you've seen what we've done with our really good defense. Now we get our quarterback back. We're just going to, put on a show. Give me CeeDee Lamb over 73.5 receiving yards. I love that play.
I don't hate that play, but one thing you did say that I'll disagree with is that Dak is a good quarterback. Dak is a good quarterback for stats, which is good for your CD prop. I'm okay with that. Dak will throw up a shitload of yards, but is Dak good? I don't know. And that's why I'm going into my next bias play. The Detroit Lions +7 against these Cowboys. You all knew this one was coming. Chew. We are back on the Detroit Lions train. Another game with a 20% variation between the handle and the money on the spread here. So the public loves Dak's return under center too. And I love it too for the purpose of fading them. This is the perfect spot to buy low on the Lions after their wild start to the season, seeing their offense score a trillion points, fizzle off a little bit. And everyone thinks, despite Cooper Rush being a cover machine, that Dak will step right into the Cowboys offense and the Cowboys are going to be back in a contender. I am not buying that at all. Dak will get a lot of yards and do that thing, take his receiver props, Schultz, CD, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But don't take the Cowboys to cover these 7 points today. And it's looking like Swift is not going to play, which is a nice thing about us going live right now, because yesterday all signs were pointing to him. He was going to play. Yep. But now it's looking like he's not. But Amon-Ra is going to be 100% after nursing that ankle injury the past couple weeks. And the biggest factor in me believing in the Lions is their offensive line has been absolutely incredible this year. Dallas's defense has pretty much relied on Micah Parsons and co. in that front seven causing terror. I think the Lions line is up to the task of containing them a bit, giving Goff enough to get the ball out, get it to Hawkinson, get it to Ra, whoever you got to get it to, just do it. I like the Lions to cover this game, and I might even sprinkle the money line because I really I don't love the Cowboys overall, and I'm this is double bias because I love these Lions, everyone knows that, and I hate Dak Prescott. So we got a double bias here.
Yeah, a little double bias there. Hey, you know what? But we're on both sides of that game, right? So if Dak plays well, it's probably going to be benefiting of CD. And if the Lions are in the game, you go, MereKat Lions to cover.
CD's going to cash his prop. You might have to sweat it a bit because it's going to be like the fourth quarter when the Lions are up 31-17 and Dak's, just airing it out, trying to get something. He's going to finish with like 430 passing yards, but a 10-point loss. So that's the only thing I will say, MereKat, I'm not disagreeing with your pick, but as you know, I'm a Rams fan. I've watched Jared Goff a lot. He sucks against a good pass rush. Dude. He sucks against. I love him if the situation is right, but against a good pass rush, he is terrible. Are you a little scared? That the Cowboys pass rush has been pretty good this year. It's going to force Goff into mistakes, bad throws, anything like that? Or are you just riding the Lions have just been playing in Big 12 type shootouts all year, and you expect them to bounce back after getting waxed by the Patriots before the bye? Yeah, but I just believe it. Peni, Sewell, and the boys to keep Micah under containment. Amon-Ra is going to have 13 receptions for 176 yards today.
Hey, I don't hate it. I think I'm playing Amon-Ra on a few DFS. All right, next play. I hate this play because it's so chalky. It's gross. It's -120. It's two teams money line, and I hate it. I hate it because they've burned me all year. Well, one team kind of helped me last week. Ravens Bengals money line. I think they both win. I think they both win in home AFC North games here, MereKat. Ravens Bengals money line. I believe I got it at -125. Ravens money line against the Browns, Bengals money line against the Falcons. Both home games. I think they win. The Ravens, believe it or not, could be a 6-0 football team, right? If the Ravens are a 6-0 football team, what does this look like against the Browns, right? What is the narrative? It's not like, oh, the Ravens, they blow these games late. They're not that great of a team. No, it's like, oh, the Ravens are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, one of the few teams that actually played the Bills very, very tough for about 3/4 of that football game. And as you know, MereKat, I don't think this is breaking news to you. The Bills are the best team in football right now. That's clearly evident on film. And the Ravens, I think, were probably the team that gave them one of the best games all year. Listen, I get that they've blown 3 leads. They blew a big lead to the Dolphins. They blew a big lead to the Bills. And then last week against the Giants, we're not going to talk about it. They ruined a 5-0 week with just some stupid turnovers, some bad fumbles, and we're just moving past it. But the Ravens are a good football team. They're still a good football team. Their defense is slowly getting better, especially pass defense. And here's the thing. The Browns are a great pass team, right? The Browns, everyone's darling, started 2-1. They were doing what they needed to run the ball. They've lost their last 3. They've lost their last 3 straight games. They have allowed 30.3 points in those 3 games. Their defense has not been good. And their pass offense, it's Jacoby Brissett. I'm not afraid of Jacoby Brissett picking apart this Ravens secondary. Not at all. And the biggest thing for me is whenever I look at a team that's struggling or blowing late leads, I look at 2 things. I look at the head coach and I look at the quarterback. Can it be fixed? If you're telling me that there are 5 QB head coach combos better than Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, you are wrong. You're just plain simply wrong. They will get this fixed. They are going to find their way back into winning these games and blowing these games late. And what's a good sign for the Ravens is they've shown they can dominate teams. They've been up big in the 3 games that they lost this year. I think the Ravens come out here in a home game and stomp the Browns. I think they stomp the Browns. I love the Ravens. I think they cover 6.5, but you know what? I'll take a money line and I'll parlay them with another AFC North home team, and that's the Bengals money line against the darling Falcons, 6-0 against the spread. I know, I get it. They've been covering darlings. Mariota has surprisingly played pretty well, but this Bengals offense is healthy, and the Falcons have the second worst pass defense in the NFL, 281 yards allowed per game. We saw what Jamar Chase did in his little homecoming against the Saints. T. Higgins, fully healthy. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins both practiced this week. That is a rarity for the Bengals this season. I think the Bengals are going to, I don't know if they cover against the Falcons because I'm not going to pick against that trend, but I think the Bengals win this game at home. I'll take a money line. And also, too, it's not a huge injury, but D. Alford, the number 2 corner for the Falcons, is out. That is something. He's played all right this year, but give me the Bengals to win. Money line with the Ravens money line. I like the Ravens spread as well, but I'll take these 2 money line and minus 125. A little chalky, I know, but I like them both to win. You're muted.
I'm just kidding. All right, the Ravens are a good football team, but you know who else is a good football team? You know who's a good quarterback, actually? You know who's a good quarterback? You know who's good at football? That's Davis Mills. That's Davis Mills. The next play we're taking are the Houston Texans plus 11.5. And then the over in that game, Texans-Raiders over 38.5. Little teaser there, plus 103. We're going for the three-peat here, baby, of my biased little frisky teams. The three-peat of the Jaguars, the Lions, and now the Texans. And how can I not bet on Davis Mills? It was his birthday 2 days ago. I want to take this time to wish Davis Mills a very happy birthday. A bit belated, I'm sorry. But I always believe players show up like when it's like their birthday week. Like around then, they always do. I go back, like, what was it? Back like 10 years ago, Russell Wilson threw for 5 touchdowns on his birthday. There's that story. Bo Jackson broke the then rushing record for a single game on his birthday. Players just like to perform when it's their birthdays, and Davis Mills is a basic bitch. He celebrates his birthday weekend, not just his birthday on Friday. He celebrates the whole weekend, and he's going to be celebrating against these Raiders. I still like them, but let's be real. They've kind of been doo-doo stinks. The coaching is just not there, and despite my best efforts, I simply don't see a team that's 0-5 after the spread, after 0-5 against the spread after the bye week, with Derek Carr as their quarterback, blowing out the Texans in this game. They just never perform well after the bye with Carr. And the Raiders defense has allowed over 250 yards per game in the air, a league high 11 passing touchdowns, and an opposing quarterback rating of over 106. And this is all on you, Davey, baby. Davis, you got to perform. You got to go up against this just awful Raiders secondary and not great defense and put up enough points to cover 11.5 here. I think we're going to hit the over pretty easy. I think we're going to see points in this game. I think we see the Texans hold strong against the Raiders, who are just going to try to rely on Jacobs against a kind of mid-Texans run D. But the Raiders pass D, I don't know. It's just as bad, if not way worse than the Texans run D. I think Mills and the crew can get enough done. And the average point differential between these teams this year in every game they played has been less than a touchdown. So I don't see I think the Raiders win, but not in a blowout here. I might even sprinkle the Texans a little, just a little sprinkle. Like do the Jags, Texans, Lions money line sprinkle parlay for me if you're out there listening right now. Just a sprinkle. I'm feeling it with the frisky guys today.
Ooh, that probably pays well. That probably pays pretty well. MereKat, you know what time it is. It's the best time of the week. It's the Stevie bias play of the week. 5-1. 5-1 on the year, the Stevie Bias Play of the Week. MereKat was hating on me all off season. Oh, Steve's biased this. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy into the bias, and we're going to win with the bias. 5-1 of the week. And you know what, MereKat? I'm going to the one loss I've had this year. I'm going back to the one loss I had this year. What was the one loss I had, you ask? It was a Garrett Wilson receiving prop. And we're going right back in. We're going right back in. Garrett Wilson over 37.5 receiving yards against the Broncos. Good pass defense, I know. But there's a reason for this one. It has nothing to do with what Garrett Wilson has done on the field the past few weeks because he hasn't been great. Zach Wilson has not been good. But Garrett Wilson has not been great either. It goes with Mr. Elijah Moore. I'm not getting targets. I'm not getting my yards. I want to trade. I want to trade. The Jets are winning games, but I'm not getting my stats. So I want to trade. Well, guess what? Robert Saleh, the head coach, benched you. And he goes, oh, it's not because he demanded a trade. It's because of his mental state. Robert, we all know. We all know you were a tough football coach. You're a football guy. And Elijah Moore's crying about a trade while the team's winning. He's a me guy. He's not a team guy. Get him out of here, throw him on the bench. Well, you know who is a team guy? It's the receiver they took in this year's class. It's Garrett Wilson. He is going to get his, and I'm telling you what, this is the perfect week for it because he's been struggling a little bit. Zach Wilson hasn't really been targeting him as much as Joe Flacco did. But if Garrett Wilson can get his yards with Joe Flacco, I'm sure he can do it with Zach Wilson. He's still getting targets. He's had 15 targets last 3 weeks. He's still getting targets. But 37.5 is way too low. It's just too low. I feel like the Jets are going to try to find ways to get him the ball. Get your best weapons the ball, right? Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. Try to get them the ball. And this is absolutely going to be a statement from Robert Saleh to try to get Garrett Wilson the ball with Elijah Moore crying and complaining. You didn't see Elijah Moore crying and complaining last year when the Jets were one of the worst teams in the league and he had to compete with Corey Davis. No, a shiny new toy came in and the Jets are like, oh, he's a better receiver than you, so he's going to get more opportunities to. And Elijah's all upset now, crying, demanding a trade. Well, guess what? This is going to be a week. Garrett Wilson gets a lot of work because Robert Saleh is going to make a statement that, hey, this is a team game, not a me game. You can go cry somewhere else, Elijah Moore. Give me Garrett Wilson, 37.5. Stevie Bias Play 5-1. We're going for 6-1 this week.
Let's go. Bias play. All my plays are biased today, so I have to be rooting for your bias play. But I did say I was getting back to my old roots a bit today, and the people are going to be disgusted to know the sicko teaser is back. The sicko teaser is back after, there was no sicko teaser last week, and then the week before that we tried flipping the script and going overs, and it's just been the sicko teaser has been performing well this year, although unders are hitting at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And so we just had to give it a little break. We had to mess around with it, and now it's all the way back. I'm feeling so confident in this. This is straight up like all gut play. I don't even have like legit notes for this. It's the Jets and Broncos under 41.5 points. And then the Bucks and the Panthers under 44.5 points, minus 108. We like to get the sicko teaser to plus money, but minus 108 is good enough because we want to just be a little safe. They didn't offer Bucks Panthers at 43.5, just 44.5 or 42.5. And I'm like, I don't love that. I don't love that look right there. Yeah, I love the value, but that's scaring me. We're going with the 44 just to be safe. But the Jets, basically, they're just really good on defense and really good at running the ball. So I expect them to be able to shut down Brett freaking Ripien or whatever the hell is starting for Denver now. And Sauce and the boys should have a field day and be buzzing. And on the offense, Zach Milfson is as mid as they come. But Breece and Michael Carter are those dudes, especially Breece. And Saleh's smart enough not to try to fix what ain't broke with that offense. I think play solid defense against the Broncos offense that sucked with Russell Wilson. And you know what? It's going to be even worse with this Brett Ripien guy. I know, he's had one start in his career. He won. I don't care about that. I think the Jets defense is good. I think they're going to shut this down. I think we're in for a snooze fest. And then on the other side, Bucks Panthers, I think we're in for a shit show. Snooze fest and a shit show making up the sicko teaser. Bucks Panthers, neither of these offenses are in great shape right now. Tampa, they're getting healthy. They're looking decent, but they're still struggling to move the ball all year, and their offensive game plans look like shit. And now the Panthers are down Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey the past week, plus their quarterbacks are still hurt, and they have to start. No offense, I love him. There's no bigger PJ Walker stan than me, but I don't see him lighting it up this week against a pretty decent Bucs secondary. I don't trust laying the points with Tampa either, though, in this game. I just don't trust them, which kind of makes me think like, oh, this is even going to be more of a shit show than I first expected. But I don't even expect Tampa to cover the points against the shitty Panthers team. I don't see how they're going to score points in this one. It just is going to be a gross one. There you go. The sicko teaser is all the way back.
I love it. I love it. What a way to end the show. Stevie Bias playing a sicko teaser. Could you ask for anything else?
What else could you ask for? But those are our picks for this week. And another shout out to our sponsors at BetUS. Sports Bettors, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. Live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props, parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-on-one customer service. What more could you ask for? They got it all. Log into betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. I'm actually on BetUS.com right now. I was playing a little blackjack while we were live there. Why not? I'm up a little bit. Why don't you guys follow the link below the tweet here, sign up with our link, get a nice little deposit bonus, take our plays, make a little money, go to the virtual casino, play a little blackjack, make a little more money, responsibly, of course. But shout out to BetUS. Shout out to Stevie for joining me live this morning. We were a little late today, starting at 11, but that's what you get for getting us live. You don't got to wake up at 9:30 to watch me telling you guys are going to start who aren't going to actually start. We're up to date now. Stevie, any closing thoughts?
No, let's just have a good bye week, MereKat. We get to just chill, watch the Red Zone channel. What's not to love? What's not to love? Oh,
gonna be playing Xbox, middle screen, left screen games, right screen, Red Zone,
and I'll have the NBA games on. Don't you worry. Happy Hour Hoop will have the NBA games on too. You know I'm watching both sports today.
You know I got to get my 3x2s in.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing good. They've been doing good.
Well, this is a gambling show. I know it's a football show, but I'm going to tell you guys, if you use FanDuel, there is a prop they introduced at the beginning of the playoffs last year. And when you go to NBA, it's at the top bar. It's called the 3x2. It's will a team, you go bet yes or no, will these teams combine for more than 3 3-pointers in the first 2 minutes or more than 2 3-pointers in the first 3 minutes of the game? Last year, I took the no every single playoff game. It went, I believe, 21-7 in the playoffs last year. This year to start, I've been round-robining them, playing them. It started out 2-0 on opening night. Every night has been no, has out. Last night was the closest one. It went 5-4 last night. The other nights, it's been 7-2, I think, and like 9-3 or something. Yeah, crazy. So just check those out.
Yeah, and if you're going to plug that, I got to plug Happy Hour Hoops. We're doing a pick of the day, prop of the day, 11-4, pick of the day. Donnie, Jake, and myself, one pick each day. Prop of the day, 8-7. That's 19-11 overall already in the first week NBA action. Make sure you tune those out. If you guys are like, I got these football picks have been good, guys, we got other sports as well. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy the games. I can't wait. It's bye week. And bye weeks are some of my favorite weeks, MereKat, because you just sit back, relax, and not have to worry about anything. No stress. Just got to root for our bets.
No stress. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys all for joining us. I am MereKat, joined by Steve, some guy named Steve, Stevie, Steph, whatever you want to call him.
Don't call me
Good
Steph.
night.